What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle. Welcome back to the Playbook. Today, we are teaching the wonders of the chip through ball. I have 5 different examples to help you incorporate this into your gameplay at all different levels. Found this helpful? Make sure to drop a like. If you're new, it's free to subscribe. I appreciate you. Happy holidays. I hope everyone had an amazing time period with their family, their loved ones, and you ate a lot, maybe even drank a lot. You were involved actively in the social scene. My game settings, which are on the channel, but just to reiterate, passing, through ball assistance, lob through ball, both are on semi for yours truly, which I believe is the default if you're playing online, at least any competitive settings. All right. And I'm calling this the front line. Before we get into it, if you have no idea what a chip through ball is, anyone on your team is capable of executing this pass. You're going to be holding L1 and triangle if you are on the PlayStation. There will be a pop-up on screen with controls. This video is more so dedicated to showcasing the when, the where, the what to look for in order to bring this into your gameplay with maximum levels of efficiency. We've got Holland, and I call this the front line because we want to beat the front man. This guy right here, who is being manually controlled from my opposition. So we've got tons of space. Everyone can recognize that we have tons of space. There's a big defensive area. You've got a couple defenders that are keeping you on side. You got the half field line. Everything is in your favor. You just have to make sure, and this is the simplest form of the chip through ball, that that front guy is going to be beat. You do not want to pass this on the ground. It would put you in a non-advantageous position, and then you run it out into space. Look at the room that we have to work with. Oh, feels so good. When this happens, only wonderful offensive opportunities are going to be created. Son, decent first touch, helps us out a little bit, walking around the goalkeeper, and then what's better than 1 chip? We're going to give you 2. I got more. We have Doku and we have a runner. Let me remind you what we're looking at here. This front line man, this first player, we have to beat him. Kind of like a corner kick. One of the rules of thumbs on corner kicks, if you played on the actual pitch or on the virtual pitch, you got to clear the first man. If you don't beat that first guy that's going to be sitting on the near post, you did an injustice. How can you call yourself a professional or even an amateur player? If you're the guy that's supposed to be delivering the goods, you're the specialist, that's lackluster. And you could say, well, why don't you put this on the ground? In theory, sometimes players will pass into space, but I've came to the conclusion that sometimes the game does what it wants. And if you put it on the floor, you put it on the ground, you put it on the pitch, it doesn't have any aerial, nothing, nada, it could be intercepted. And I don't like that. I'd rather take advantage of, at least I know I'm going to beat the first man. I've already got a player running into space. Can he beat the likes of this defender? That's the question. I mean, I'm already looking at the second guy, but as long as I clear the first man, I'm happy days with it. We do that indeed. Kareem, the dream, decent first touch again. You still got work to do here. It's not all said and done, but you progress the play. I look at FIFA or FC 24 where you have intervals on the virtual pitch from the midfield to the final third to getting inside the box. Kareem turns it. Doku is going to run, give you a little bit of the reach, the teach, and the finish. Extra touch. You love to see that. That's the front line. Welcome to SpaceX. And yes, it's a play on words. Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, whatever he's done to X or Twitter. I don't think that was a positive movement, but this is not a video about Elon Musk. So we're talking about taking advantage of space, and this happens far too frequently, at least for yours truly. I find myself where I'm running out of real estate, surrounded by a bunch of players. It's going to be complicated for me to put this even on a recycle. There's a lot of bodies around me. So I'm thinking, well, where's my best situation? What can I do here? As long as I throw the ball into space, in the air, I've already got a runner that can potentially attack that space. We can split the defense. This gives me a chance to get out of trouble. And also, worst case scenario, I lose possession, but I can counter press. Or my opponent has to build up from the back. And I talk about this a lot. If you've watched this channel or other videos that I've done on my main channel, when we talk about gameplay and percentages, understanding what's the best percentage play that's in your favor. I can't lose the ball here with Rodrigo, so I got to let this rip. If anything, my opponent has to do a full build-up. I can work with that. Best case scenario, I got a through ball opportunity, and Holland's going to make this happen. The odds are not in my favor. I want to be clear cut on that. You see, I'm still chasing back with 3, but this is what makes Holland kind of special, a little bit unique. Even with all these bodies, if Holland gets a good first touch, I know that he'll take that into space. And he's big enough, he's strong enough. Even the 3 defenders here, because they're chasing from behind or they're on the side of me, I've got a decent opportunity. But again, worst case scenario, I'm always thinking about percentage plays, defensively and offensively. It will shift the way that you play the game when you understand what is the best move based on probability. Holland, there it is. Big first touch, takes us into the promised lands. We get a little bit of an extra resurgence there in the finish. One more time, just for the people. I'm going to rerun this because you can kind of see where I'm thinking about options. I've got Rodrigo. If anything, I could have potentially recycled in this position. It wouldn't have been that easy. There's a lot of bodies around me. Haaland's not really making a run, but he is in the right place, and I've got, more importantly, space to work with. Broken record, and there's the finish. Left foot of dreams. We might as well call this the chip through ball gap. You're always looking for this hole where you can split the two defenders. If these guys get caught out, and especially if your offensive player has his hand raised, you can hit a chip through ball. So you've got everything you're looking for here. And I can't stress this enough. Maybe we put this on screen. Number 1, you have a runner. Number 2, he's a target player. Number 3, there is space to work with. Number 4, you have an angle to make that pass. So I have to have a player that is capable of making some sort of chip through ball. If you don't have a player that can make this pass, it won't work for you. If you don't have a runner that is going into space, won't work for you. If you don't have a player that can actually do something when he gets into the space, also won't work for you. This is where we talk about meta players, guys with size that don't have the pace, guys with skills or lack thereof. You have to understand your personnel to really, truly take advantage. So this is your chip through ball of dreams. It doesn't mean it's going to be a clear cut, but it's more about identifying and then taking advantage of opportunistic opportunity. And with semi for your chip through ball, you don't have to do a lot with aiming. You don't have to do a lot with power. It's more about recognizing who's open, what's open, when it's open, and letting it rip. And you're going to see this time and time again. It's all about splitting these defenders. I cannot stress this enough. Splitting the defense and having space is going to be the ultimate scenario and success for you, especially on counterattacks. Haaland, you might look like a 50-50. It's not. Takes that off his chest. Good bounce. Into space, left foot, cross the body, count those. I've got more. Son, again, Haaland, again. You can see what's kind of happening here. Back line, a little flat. This number 4 is keeping him on side. We've already got the runner. Again, identifying that space, similar area, we're looking for the gap. Space gives us margin. Margin means we have leverage. Leverage means we're taking advantage of it. We're taking advantage of it. Son's cut inside. We've got enough to work with. Son's looking to feed the main man. This is the area that we're stressing. That's the gap that we have, and we're going to power through. Haaland. There it is. Decent ball from Son, got to be said. Off the bounce. Goalkeeper movement done right or done wrong. Either way, we get a follow-up. We move. I'm calling this the 50-50. It's not really a 50-50. Especially not if you have the advantage with an attacking player such as an Mbappe, a Son, a Haaland, someone who's advantageous. Maybe got an icon or a hero in this position. Rodrigo cuts inside. You can kind of see the matchup that I've already identified. Are you with me? And that's why I say it's a 50-50, because there is a defensive player. Y'all are both chasing. And what we talk about time and time when it comes to through balls in particular, do you have a gap of space that you can feed these players into? But if your attacking player is faster than the defender, if he's got better instincts, if he's already started his run, started the sprint, often you're going to be in a position where maybe it's more of a 70-30 or 80-20. Either way, you want to take a chance in some of these situations. You could play his feet. You still got to beat a defender. But if you're able to win one of these 50-50s or make up ground, it puts you in a role where one skill move, one little quick twitch, and you're in the money. And what I love about this isolation in particular is there's no other players nearby. These are the other two defenders. If I get a 1v1 here, if I'm able to do something magical, if I'm able to break this guy down or he has a poor read, I'm going to be off to the races. I like that type of percentage. Son, what you got for me? A little bit of a ball roll. Boom. Perfect example. Nobody else is there. We're cooking. I even have enough time to check out that goalkeeper movement. Did you see that? Rerun it. Rerun it. Ball roll. The players aren't there. I slow down. You can see the goalkeeper scoot just a tad bit. He did a little bit of a scoot this way. Therefore, it tells me that near post is going to open up. You need these types of moments if you want to score goals at the higher levels. Lastly, we're talking about the light chips, and I've made a video dedicated to this pass, and you don't always have to use a chip through ball. You can also use a cross, but I thought it'd be worth showcasing an example. We've got the ball down the end line, and again, this is always one of those attacking spaces. You can get runners inside the box in particular. It just allows you to progress the attack, and then you can look for the pullback. You can take somebody on in a 1v1. Either way, we know how difficult it is to penetrate the box in FC24. There's going to be bodies everywhere. A lot of bus drivers all day, every day. This counteracts it. You could go with the chip through ball. You can go with just lightly touching the cross button. Both will work. Depends if you need more of a lead or less of a lead. You're trying to hit a player. You get what I'm spitting. Barely touch it, please and thank you. There's your runner. Takes it down. Rodrigo looks for a pass. We find it, and we get a bicycle. It's just beautiful. Makes me happy. One more time. AI defending can't conquer us. Beautiful, full extension. Shout out to the squad. If you have any questions, as always, use the comment section. We here at the Playbook supply the goods on a regular basis. Passionate gameplay connoisseurs. As always, if you're new, please drop a subscription. It's a relatively new channel. Everything has started this year. I appreciate all of you, and we'll have a lot more content coming out ASAP.